What's up, everyone? This is Vindictam's Cantina here, coming at you with another news video. Now, this one probably isn't going to be too long of a video, but I figured that I would get this out here because I'm super hyped for the series. Disney has announced that the Book of Boba Fett will be premiering on Disney Plus on December 29th, and I know exactly what most fans probably going to be thinking. It's a little disappointing that we have to wait for about 3 months until the series comes out, and because if you think about it too, right, you know, other than Star Wars Visions that came out this month, and then, you know, the Lego Star Wars Halloween special that's coming out tomorrow, you know, we don't have really nothing new in terms of Star Wars, you know, content other than the books and comics that are coming out before the Book of Boba Fett. And anyways, let's read the article from the official Star Wars website. Disney Plus announced today, of course it was yesterday, that the Book of Boba Fett, the new Lucasfilm series teased in a surprise end credit sequence following the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, will premiere on Wednesday, December 29th, exclusively on the streaming service Disney Plus. Also debuted the key art for the series, which you can see for yourself, which they tease a new look for Boba Fett, and if this is his new look, I mean, don't fix something that's not broken, because, you know, since they have kinda retconned Boba Fett and his father not being Mandalorians to now making them Mandalorians by just making them be basically Mandalorian fledgling, kind of like Jindarin. You know, obviously the main character from the Mandalorian being one himself. You know, it's great that they've gone back to the roots of the characters from the Legends lore, because I didn't like the idea, and as much as I respect George Lucas, I didn't fully agree with his choice on saying that Jango and Boba are not Mandalorian. But now, since they kinda have re-canonized that they are, this is great news for us Boba Fett and Jango Fett fans. The Book of Boba Fett, a thrilling Star Wars adventure, finds legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett and mercenary Fennec Shand navigating the galaxy's underworld when they return to the sands of Tatooine to stake their claim on the territory once ruled by Jabba the Hutt and his crime syndicate. So that definitely tells me that this series is definitely going to be more in the gray area, even more so than The Mandalorian, and I'm totally for that. Because sometimes I get so tired of always, you know, Star Wars movies and Star Wars TV shows always being about, you know, the good guys. I mean, the one thing that I find extremely annoying is in the Battlefront 2 story, the campaign, the DICE's Battlefront 2, they state that, you know, you're going to end up actually, you know, where we're going to be seeing the side of things from the Empire's point of view and all that. And even though we kind of did, they basically did the whole thing like, okay, well, you know, these characters do not agree with what the Empire is doing, so they deflect to the rebels, to the Rebel Alliance. And I am someone that obviously, you know, considering, you know, my OC, my main Star Wars OC is literally called Darth Vindictam, I'm more of a fan of the bad guys and the gray area characters. Of course, if you were to ask me, like, my 5 top favorite Star Wars characters, I mean, number 1 would be Anakin Vader, Luke, Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, and probably even Ahsoka Tano would be in the fifth spot. Ahsoka has really grew on me as a character. I really do love her personality and her interaction with Anakin and Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars, and then her interaction between, you know, Ezra and Kanan and Rebels and all that. Anyways, this isn't about Ahsoka, though I might have to make a video on Ahsoka eventually in the future. But yeah, I am extremely excited to get more into the underworld part of Star Wars, which the underworld is something that I've always found interesting. because we were going to get basically a Star Wars Underworld game called Star Wars 1313, which they referenced in Clone Wars Season 7 with Trace and Rasha, two characters I'm not the biggest fans of. I find them kind of obnoxious, and I believe I stated that in a previous video that I find their character kind of obnoxious a little bit. Actually, to be honest, I even consider Rasha as just a wannabe Han Solo, and Trace as just a bootleg Ahsoka from Season 1 and 2 of the Clone Wars, but I don't hate them as much as I do with Rey. You know, they definitely served their purpose, but, you know, it does make me wonder, could we see Ahsoka in this series? Could we see the final confrontation? Could we see Boba Fett versus Han? I don't think people have really put the pieces together. Could we see the rematch? Actually, not so much the rematch, but the fight between Boba and Han. Because I'm sure Han would want to get some payback on Boba if he found out that Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit. And I'm sure that Boba Fett is also going to be hunting Luke, and that's something I see a lot of channels talking about, is that there's a possible chance that Luke and Boba will fight. Now, the question is, are they going to take a page out of the Legends continuity and keep Boba Fett alive, since he is a popular character? We don't know that right now. It is possible, especially since, you know, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau know these characters very, very well and knows how much they mean to the fans. I think that we'll be getting some new Boba Fett content moving forward. And I'm very much interested in seeing if, like, some other characters from The Mandalorian are going to be making some, like, one-off appearances. Like, maybe, like, we might see Jin Darlin. If I'm saying his freaking name right, I'm sorry, sometimes Star Wars names can sound really weird. You know, maybe, like, have a little bit of a Mandalorian season 2.5 in just one episode to see what he's been up to since Grogu left with Luke Skywalker at the during the finale of Mandalorian season 2. Could we see Bo-Katan? Could we see Ahsoka Tano? Could we see Sabine? You know, even though that I do think that we'll probably be seeing Sabine in the Ahsoka series, because a lot of people, there's rumors going around that there's going to be, that basically that the Ahsoka series is going to be a continuation of Rebels. I'm very much interested to see how they're going to be taking all the characters that they introduced in the Mandalorian, recurring new characters, and just, because it seems like Thrawn is going to be like the big threat, like basically a freaking canon version of heir to the Empire. And I do think that we will be seeing Han Solo. I can guarantee you in this series, eventually, if they do make a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, we could see Han eventually. They're going to have to do it. Because there's that elephant in the room of, well, you know, Boba Fett was the one that took Han from Bespin, Cloud City, in Empire Strikes Back, and took him to Jabba Palace and was basically wall art for Jabba, his prized possession, basically. And I'm sure that Boba, you know, feels like, you know, especially since he took out Bib Fortuna, I think that he definitely there's probably some anger there. Now obviously, you know, at this point, Boba Fett doesn't know that Luke Skywalker showed up and saved them. You know, he probably doesn't know anything at all about that. I don't know if they contacted Boba to let them know that they're okay, or I don't know. We don't know that yet. But I bet you Boba Fett went from Moff Gideon Star Destroyer, and actually, from there he probably went to Tatooine. I would imagine, depending on when the after credits took place. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting because again, and I'm gonna keep clarifying the point. Are we going to be seeing more legacy characters? Could we see Bosk? Could we see Dengar? Could we see Cad Bane, a live action Cad Bane? Assuming that he's still alive. Keep in mind, we don't know if he's going to die in the Bad Batch, so this is only speculation on my part. Could we see a live action Cad Bane eventually? I think it's possible. Could we, the sky's the limit with this series. I can't wait to get more into the scum and villainy side of Star Wars. And yeah, I'm looking forward to December 29th, which ironically around this time I would be watching, the next season of RWBY, but I completely have no interest in RWBY Volume 9 at this point. I don't plan on watching it. So, but yeah, if you all agree with me, definitely make sure to comment, like, and subscribe and hit that bell button. When you do hit that bell button, definitely let me know what you think about this and what you're hoping that will happen. With that said, I'll see you all in the next video. Later, guys, and may the Force be with you all.